gold sponsors, Michele Perry. She is the host of the Successful Diligence podcast and best-selling author of The Pebble in My Shoe. You can connect with Michele and get a copy of her book at successfuldiligence.com. Paula Cousson has dedicated her life volunteering in community youth programs such as the Young Marines. Paula believes that the greatest asset each young person has is at least one caring adult in their life. Donald Lamb, he and his wife have been happily married for over 35 years. He is the proud father of one daughter and 3 sons. Donald honorably served his country for over 22 years in the United States Army and retired with distinction. Active in his community, Donald is the owner and operator of Mama's Boy event planning and coordinating services. Connect with Donald at facebook.com/Mama's Boy Events Coordinating. Amanda Aker, coming from a past of drug abuse, homelessness, and being a convicted felon, Amanda has broken through and was able to let the good things into her life. Amanda is now on a mission to inspire and motivate people just like you. Amanda's core message is that our past does not define us, and we are way stronger than we think. Connect with Amanda at facebook.com/Amanda.Aker2017. Our platinum sponsors, Mr. Gregory Smith. He is the author of 100 Simple Ways How to Manage a Property and Evidence Room. Get your copy by reaching out to Gregory Smith on Facebook or email him at smithg1963@yahoo.com. Adrienne Barker. She is the host of the Adrienne Barker Speaks podcast, a life coach and CEO of Professional Global Etiquette. Please connect with her at professionalglobaletiquette.com. Mr. Mike Black from New Bern, North Carolina. Mike helps men throughout Eastern Carolina lead a faith-filled life. He is a compassionate leader in his church and a devoted husband and father. Dr. Nate Dunlap Jr. He is the executive director of the PRF Institute. He's the author of What's Next? Preparing for Eternity and Don't Leave Me Like This, Inspiration to Leave a Legacy. As a 501c3 organization, the PRF Institute is blessed to be the premier stewardship-based teaching ministry that truly responds to the needs of others in the community. Contact him at prfinstitute.org. If you would like to become a sponsor of Impacting Life 24/7, it's very simple. Just visit clkingspeaker.com. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Just visit clkingspeaker.com to get your opportunity to become a sponsor of Impacting Life 24/7. And that's what we're doing right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you could be a part of. Impacting Life 247 with your host, CL King, coming to you live from the High Definition Studios here in Impactville. And I'm sitting in the Ruth E. Plowden Legacy Chair, where we broadcast this show every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thankful for all of our team already on the job. And if you want to go ahead and share this, because this is going to be our marquee show. Listen, if you get on the Thursday show, you know you got something going on. And I've got 2 powerhouse dynamic women that have decided to join us in our virtual studios. Now, I can speak to this from the heart without any notes. I know y'all think that everything I do is structured, but I can do this from the heart. Why? Because I know the heart of these 2 individuals. Oftentimes people come here and I'm just meeting them for the first time or second time. But no, tonight I know that these ladies have been forged in the crucible of struggle, and they have found a way to rise above the things that have brought so many other people down. I'm joined tonight by Tahneisha Jordan from Lorain, Ohio, as well as Davidia Michele from Lorain, Ohio, 2 dynamic teammates who host lunchtime conversations on Station Head Radio. But they do so much more than that. They have decided that their life's work is for a generation which is yet to come. Nisi experienced so many painful moments as a child coming up in the streets of Lorain, Ohio, and carried that stuff with her all the way into nearly her 30s. And it wasn't until she realized that she had to declare what happened behind closed doors did she really get free. And we're going to talk about her book tonight, her newest released book, Behind Closed Doors. Additionally, Davidia, her co-host on Lunchtime Radio, she has written a journal, which I really, really love. The title of that journal is Dear Future Husband. So she writing out there, y'all. Y'all better have your ears close to the radio, Dear Future Husbands. And it's going to be a magnificent journal for people to use that are getting married. I would love for everyone to welcome to our virtual studios, Niecy J and Davidia Michele. Welcome, ladies.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, thank you for having us here, CL.
Oh man, it's truly an honor to have you in the virtual studios. It seems like we just have been spending quite a bit of time together, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we're delighted for all of you guys that are watching on live. We have Niecy J and Davidia Michele, but also for our podcast audience, everything that you hear tonight, you'll be able to access that in our podcast show notes. Because as you guys know, the show is on, Lord, how many is it now, Greg? 33 different platforms. It's downloaded in about 45 states and 31 countries around the world. And so when we're blessed to bring somebody of the caliber of these two ladies here, everybody gets to hear about it. And so I'm being a little bit unselfish tonight, and I'm sharing Davidia Michele, and I'm sharing Tahneisha Jordan. So welcome, ladies, and let's just get right to it, because you know the clock, it bites us really fast on the back end. The back end of the
clock. You are so tickled. You know that was corny.
You know, you got to get the visual there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about the back end of the show, not the clock biting us on the rear end. So, Niecy, tell people how they can get up with you.
Well, you can check out my website, which is IamNiecyJ.com, where you can find my new release, Behind Closed Doors, as well as the Behind Closed Doors journal. Also have a children's book that will be released soon, I think in February. That's the Behind Closed Doors, A Good Touch and the Bad Touch. That's a children's book for the ages 4 to 8. I'm also on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter under I Am Niecy J.
Powerful. So just go to IamNiecyJ.com or just type in I Am Niecy J anywhere, and you'll probably be waiting in the bank line, and you push that into the teller, and her face will show up on the teller machine. So
right.
IamNiecyJ.com. And Miss Davidia, how can people find you?
Absolutely. I can be found on my website, DavidiaMichele.com. That's DAVIDIA, Michelle with one L.com. You also can find me on all social media platforms by the name of Davidia Michele, as well as I am on Clubhouse. I spend quite a bit of time on Clubhouse, and on there I am Davidia Sales, as you see in my ID box here at the bottom of my square.
Awesome. So Davidia Michele, that I can call her, and if you're looking for her on Clubhouse, it would be Miss Davidia Sales. And I would like to, we need to talk offline, Davidia, and do some work together on Clubhouse. I really just don't, like you said earlier in the pre-show, I don't know if I have time for one more platform, but I don't think I gave that platform enough of a chance. And so Davidia is out there too. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm scrolling, because as you know, that's what a radio show, a podcast show has to do, is consume information. I scroll a little bit, there's Niecy's face. I scroll a little bit, there's Davidia's face. I scroll a little bit, I'm like, ladies, y'all out here more than I am. I need to find out who y'all marketing agent is. And that's
self.
You're right. And that's what I really love about what you guys are doing, is because it is very, in this industry, it is very grassroots, but I tell people who think it's all glamorous and it's all fun, it's fun, but it takes work. And you guys are definitely putting in the work. You're not cheating the game. I'm watching you in the background. I'm tuning into your show, and I'm very, 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 very proud of the work that you ladies are doing, and the great things that are yet to come. And so, Niecy, being from Lorraine, tell us just, I know you, but my audience doesn't know you. So tell a little bit about yourself.
I'm not afraid to say my age. I'm a 47-year-old wife, mother, and grandmother. Like you said, I'm from Lorraine, Ohio, and I moved here in to North Carolina in 2014. I'm also an author again for Behind Closed Doors. I am just, an all around person who just loves to help everybody that I can. And that's what my book is about. It's about helping those who are like me.
Well, that's a great answer. And, as we unpack that book a little bit tonight, you'll find that there are many, many people in the shadows, Nisi, that, like you say, are like you. Grace says, I'm drinking moonshine again. Again, ladies and gentlemen, those of you in our audience, okay, I have a red jug because I talk for a living, and so I have to consume water, else I'll pass out right here on stage. And these ladies can handle it, though. I could probably leave this room, and Davidia would go into host mode, and they could just keep on getting it. So Davidia, I've been blessed to be able to hear some of your story. Obviously, when we talked the first time, it was really a revelation. So share a little bit about yourself with our audience, please.
I as well. I am from Lorain, Ohio, Northeast Ohio. I often reference it. I am a mother and a future wife, awaiting for my king to arrive. And an author. I became an author September 2021. And I am in the process of working on my second manuscript. Mother of a special needs child. I am that person that, I just want to impact the world with the good of who I am through my life experiences and things that I learn along the way on this journey.
Yeah, you talk about it, and that's what some people don't realize is that this life is a journey, Davidia. And I want to start with you tonight because you kind of gave us a great place to segue into more of what everybody knows. What I do on this show is I try to reveal as much as I can about our guests. And it takes a lot of courage to do that because you make yourself vulnerable. You know what I mean? You're out here
Absolutely.
talking to people that are total strangers, except for the gentleman behind the microphone. And I really am admiring the fact that people are willing to do that. DavidaMichele.com is where you can find her, and on all major social media platforms, to include Clubhouse, where we're going to work on some Clubhouse together. You mentioned that you're a mother of a special needs child, and we've had some guests on that have talked about that because they've had special needs children too. Blessed of the Lord, you always have a smile on your face. Tell us about this journey with being a caretaker of your daughter.
Woo, that's a loaded question when you ask me. Tell me about the journey. The journey has been one that I have chosen to embrace. My daughter was diagnosed with cerebral palsy 6 months after birth, and didn't know what her life would be. They were not able to tell us what she would and would not be able to do. But as she, got older, the realization set in is that she does not walk, she does not talk, she doesn't do anything for herself. So the best way I've been able to describe it throughout my life is everything I do for myself, I do for her, and probably a little bit more. With that diagnosis, it took me about 6 months to really wrap my head around it. And then I just decided, you know what, this is my life, and I am going to be the best mother that I know how to be in this capacity. And I've done that. We've had some ups and downs with her health, especially in the past, 4 to 5 years, where she's spent a lot of time in the hospital. And I will say specifically, these past 3.5, almost 4 years, we've probably spent nearly 3 years in the hospital.
And you told me about that. I remember, for those of you tuning in, this is Impacting Life 24/7 with your host, CL King. I'm joined by in my virtual studios by Tahneisha Jordan and Davidia Michele, and you told me that there was a stretch where you were in the hospital for months on end, right?
Yes, there were multiple stretches. Just to give them to you real quick. The first one, that was like, what do they say? I was baptized. I don't know. My first long stint in the hospital with her was 8.5 months. We came home. We were home just maybe a month or two, and had a couple of episodes where we went back and forth, a week here, a month there. And then later that year, we ended up back in the hospital for another lengthy stint, which was 6.5 months. We came home. We were home. What I consider off and on a steady, maybe 4 or 5 months. And when I say off and on, those are little pockets, a week here, a month there. A month to me is a short stay. Right. So when we went back that third time for that next lengthy stay, it was 10.5 months straight. And as I mentioned to you before, many other people, I've shared some of this story. When she goes in the hospital, I go in the hospital too, because she does not talk. I am her voice. I'm her advocate.
Well, and again, that's an example of why Davidia Michele, you can find her again at davidamichele.com, why she is a woman of faith. She's an advocate, a mentor, a vessel of wisdom and encouragement, because this journey that she is on, the one thing that really I remember in our first conversation is you said you embrace it versus just try to tolerate it. And Nisi J, Miss Tahneisha Jordan, being raised in Lorain, Ohio, you obviously had some good moments as a child, but there were moments that were filled with darkness. And when I read this book and I see how you laid it out, you give us a progression through your life. I have it right here in the studio, just in case y'all think. And look, Nisi, it's not backwards. Check it out. Look, there it is, right? I got it right. I got it in my hands. The autographed copy of Behind Closed Doors. And Nisi, I know this was a very this was an unearthing for you. This was a heavy journey of your own. We talk about Davida's journey, but now tell me about what got you, or what got you to the point where you realized I've got to get this on paper.
Well, for me, as women, first of all, we like to voice how we feel on paper. Mm-hmm. That's just a given. I mean, we get all of the importance out on paper. Right. And so when I was going through what I was going through, I didn't know if I would ever talk about it. Mm. And for the years that I kept it bottled in, it caused a lot of damage. I was so destructive. I was an angry person. It was horrible for me. I was fighting a lot. People who know me know I just stayed in trouble, just fighting. And it was nothing but anger, nothing but, the hurt and anger that I endured from, the people who hurt me. So I decided as I got older, it's time to let the world know who I am, mm-hmm. The real Nisi is, the real Tahneisha. Right. And so putting it out on paper and getting out to the world, let them know that, hey, this was not me. That angry person, that's not who I really am. And so I want you to read and understand exactly who I am, because that, from writing that till now, it's released so much. Like I feel so free. I feel good. I feel like a weight has been lifted. It was a long journey, from the time that I endured the first incident with the molestation all the way up until my second husband and the abuse. It was a journey. I mean, but God put me through this test for a reason. And that's another thing. That book, everything that I endured, it was a test. And so God has shown me exactly why I was put through that situation. Yeah. Those situations.
Yes, multiple situations. And again, you can find Nisi's book on Amazon. as well as her website, IamNeecyJ.com. Let me spell that for you. I am NEICEJ.com. And the book is Behind Closed Doors. And, you know, we talk about this because I have a very similar story with Tahneisha. And, you know, a lot of times when you're writing this and people who were the offenders or, you know, peripheral people around, there can be some tension and there can be some pleasant feelings. I've already received some of that, and my book ain't even finished. You know, they just found out I was going to do it, and they said, oh, you ain't telling the truth. I have a witness for my stuff. And so when the word got out, if you will, Niecy, that you were going to write this book, did you receive, was there some pressures or some peripheral pressures? Did you get treated some kind of way?
Honestly, I didn't. For a long time, I did not mention to anyone that I was going to write the book. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to write it. And what comes from it is what comes from it. Right. Because this is my truth, and I refuse to hinder myself anymore for anybody. You know, I was in prison to people already. You know what I mean? So why am I going to do it again?
Right.
For telling my truth? I just couldn't do it. So I have not received really any backlash or anything like that. Everybody has taken to my story, taken to me in a positive light. And I think I have one person, which I will not mention, but I have one person who's going around asking questions because I know they're in their feelings about the book.
Right.
But at the end of the day, for me, again, I cannot live for anybody else but myself.
That's great. And again, Niecy J, you can find her book Behind Closed Doors and her journal at IamNeecyJ.com or, of course, on Amazon. Greg, I think if you can find both of these ladies' work, if you could put those in the chat, we'll make sure to include that for our podcast audience. Now, you know, Davidia, I want you to know that when I come home, which I'm home all the time, so that's not a very accurate statement, right? When my wife comes home, and this is back in the days, let's say when my wife would come home, and let's say I was home, and these kids I'm taking care of, let's say it's summertime, I had the privilege to just pass them off to her, right? And go get me some me time. Go get me some quiet time, right? Like, only person with me right now, let me see where he at. He better not be up. Yeah, only person with me right now is Samson, and he hangs with me all the time. That's the golden retriever. The question for you that I have, Davidia, is how do you inject self-care for yourself, being that you are a caretaker? How have you managed to find those slivers of time, because you don't get a lot of time for yourself?
I do not. Thank you for asking that question, CL. I do not get a lot of time for myself. I believe that, first off, my faith in God, and just the qualities and characteristics that He has poured into me to be the calm that I am when it comes to caring for my daughter. So by me being that, embracing what I do with my daughter, I don't necessarily always feel super, super overwhelmed as it pertains to taking care of her. So with the COVID pandemic, all the extra names that they have out here for it.
Optimus Prime, yeah.
Yeah. The panoramic, all of these things.
Can we stop already? All right, we all got it. We got it, y'all. We good. Can we just go on back to women?
Right. All these different things. It has made it a little bit more challenging for me to find solace or retreat outside of home, right? Because I have to be safe for myself in order to be safe for her. Right. And so my outlets have actually become my journal, Dear Future Husband, like Niecy, When I went through the process of writing my journal, no one knew. And it was, intense is the first word that's coming to mind, but it really wasn't intense. It was exciting. It was challenging, but no one knew. And honestly, it was an escape. While my daughter was in the hospital, I wrote the entire journal at her bedside. Additionally, my other escapes are things like this. This journal, I honestly thought I was going to write the journal and be done until the voice of the Lord was like, okay, now I need you to release it, publish it. I don't know how to do that. I made that happen. And then I thought that was it. I thought that once I published it, that was it. But then came along Nisi and social media and videos and interviews. And that is a piece of my solace. That is a piece of my outlet. That is a piece of my release, in getting away from my day to day. And I get these opportunities, not in days as most people would retreat, like I'm going to go take a whole weekend away, or I'm going to take a week off. I get them in moments, and it's usually an hour, sometimes some minutes. So that is where I find my solace, and I still away in those moments of being creative.
So you can find that you can explore and get into your hands. Hold that book up so I can see what it looks like. I haven't even seen it.
I'm sure you have.
My dear future husband. I don't see it in my studio, but it's going.
It's not your studio, but it's going to be in your studio. It is also available on Amazon.com.
Yes.
As well. But yes.
And so for if you would like to get this in your hands, you can go to several places, Amazon.com or DavidaMichele.com. And when you talk about dear future husbands, the journal, we're going to kind of unpack what your goal is behind that, because I really like the kind of prophetic way that you have put that together. Nisi, I want to ask you this: when you completed your book and you were done, you now are in a similar situation as Davida. Because you do one thing, and then it's like, okay, God's saying, okay, I want you to do this, and then you finish with that, and then you're like, bam, I want you to do this. Nisi, you have always been an outgoing, kind person. You've always been funny, hilarious. In addition, I knew the mean girl too. I remember her. But being thrust into kind of the throes of all of the things that you've got going on, with promotions and media appearances and talking about it. How have you been able to balance this, without burning yourself out? Because I see the hammer down, and I know what it took to get to where I'm at, and it really does take a lot of work. How have you injected into your life the measures so you don't burn yourself out? Because you're wide open.
Ooh, man, listen. As you know, I also have, a daycare, but I had 4 kids that I was dealing with. Now I'm down to 1 plus my grandkids. So I had to, dumb that down some. And I do that Monday through Friday. I do the show Station Head Radio with Davida Michele Monday through Friday. And then I'm still writing in my another book, my 4th book that I'm trying to work on. So I have to put myself on a time schedule. Thank God I got fired from my job, right?
All right. Sometimes getting fired is the best thing that can happen.
Right.
So because of that, I'm able to do what I need to do on my time. And so it's not as bad as it is for Davida, because she has a child that requires her all the time. Me, and like I said, I just put myself on a time schedule, and I'll say, hey, at this time I'm going to do this. Station Head Radio, I'm going to do it at this time. At this time I'm going to do this. And I shut myself down at a certain time. And then the weekends, don't bother me. It's done. I'm not doing anything. So that's my wind down.
Yeah, and that's good. Greg has already put in the chat where you can get your book and journal, Davida. I'd like you to put also Nisi's for Amazon. Here's why I brought that question up, ladies, because I've had a lot of doctors on the show to start out the year, right? Several medical doctors, health professionals, etc. And I want to show people in real time how people who are busy, who are making things happen, who have demands on their life, still what vehicles they use for, like for me, self-care is getting out on the water on my kayak and just being away from everybody, right? Me writing my book here, I don't even hardly write my book here in the studio because it feels too much like work. I'm here all day long, so I go to Barnes and Noble and have me a latte, put my pinky in the air and work on the book, right? But we have to remember, and we have to remember this as we're all cresting the seasoned hills of age, that self-care is important. And so I was interested in getting kind of like you all's method to how you approach self-care. Davida, when you speak to several different things. So let's say I ask this question. This is the $1 million question. Are you ready, Davida?
Absolutely.
Okay. In an hour with CL King and our vast global audience, what would you want people to take away from this time? What do you want people to take away from Davida Michele? A time with you. What do you want them to take away?
I don't even have enough time to tell them what I would like for them to take away. But I'll say this. I really want people, when they encounter me and have conversation with me, to take away first kindness, being kind. 2, understanding that your situation could be a lot worse than what it actually is. And when you come across challenges and obstacles, oftentimes it is easier to get through those obstacles and challenges when you choose to embrace what is before you and then try to assess how you can overcome that challenge versus running head on and just keep banging your head or trying to get around and circumvent rather than go through. Stay on your journey. Stay on your journey and see everything that is around you and figure out what is the lesson that you are supposed to take away. I am a firm believer that in everything that we do, there is a lesson within, and it is up to us to get it. Oftentimes, we live our lives in such a way that we dread certain things that that happen to us, and we focus on the negative. I always like to implore people, don't focus on the negative. Focus on what am I supposed to get out of this, and what is the best process forward for me to get through this and get what I need to get out of it. My journey has been what it is, and I've learned so many things, and I can sit with a plethora of people and share a plethora of experiences. Be open to hear what people have to say, because you'll never know how their story can impact and change their lives.
You know, I love that. I was thinking about certain circumstances where, okay, I need to employ what Davida Michele, and of course you can find Davida at davidamichele.com, and you can get a copy of her journal, which is entitled Dear Future Husbands. All you ladies out there, y'all need to go ahead and get it now. So
Absolutely.
And fill that thing out. I'd love for you guys to go check her out on Amazon. You can go to Amazon, Dear Future Husbands, find it right there. And
yes,
you made me think, because listen, people think, Nisi, they think that I'm the subject matter expert on all these shows I do. And I'm not. In fact, most of the people I have on, I don't have a clue what they're talking about. Well, every night for me, it's like I'm being ministered to. Like I'm laying on the couch getting my piece of psychology and as well. Well, Davida, she said, try to get a lesson out of your situation. Well, when I have car trouble, and I'm broke down on the side of the road, which doesn't happen to me anymore. But, you know, when I think about that, I'm like, so what's the lesson? I should have took care of the car issue when it was just a sputter.
Exactly.
A stitch in time saves 9, right? So she says, in everything, look for what you can learn out of it. Look at the lesson. That's very, very powerful. Our guests tonight are the world famous 2 dynamic duos, Tahneisha Jordan, Niecy Jordan. You can find her at IamNiecyJ.com. And of course, Davidia Michele. You can find her at DavidaMichele.com. Niecy, the same question for you, sister. What would you say? Okay, like people are listening, people are tuning in from all across the country and around the world. An hour is such a fleeting moment. But if you could speak to those people right now and say, listen, this is what I want you to get out of your time with me, what would that be?
Wow. Davidia said it best, and really everything she said is what, you know, I would say. A time with me, just because people think that sometimes I have this look and it's an angry look. But it's not. It's not. I honestly am really that kind person, love everybody. You know, I can't say it enough. I love everybody. And I'm always wanting to help people as best as I can, especially those who have gone through situations as I have. I want people to know that just because you go through, you know, molestation, rape, whatever pertaining to your body, yourself, you do not have to remain in prison. You have to learn how to speak up. But also know that God does things for a reason. I know that He put me on this journey to help others. At the beginning, I had no clue. Why? Because like you, Chris, I hate to write, I hate to read. And so I asked God, why am I doing this? It took a while to get that answer.
Right.
But why am I doing this? The reason is because He's teaching me to, first and foremost, to obey Him, to trust Him. And so when He's telling me to trust Him, I have to do just that. And I want others to do the same. Trust what God is doing in your life, whether it's bad, whether it's good. Right. Something positive will come out all the time out of that bad, you know, but you have to keep fighting. You have to keep pushing through whatever it is you're going through in order to figure out what it is that He has for you on the other side. And when I say other side, it doesn't necessarily mean death. I just mean it just means on this side of this side of heaven, we have to keep pushing through whatever God has put us through.
Right. So, Greg, what we're going to do, since Katrina McCain, she's one of our staff members. She's been a little bit under the weather, but she's definitely still on our team. What we're going to do for Katrina McCain, Greg, is we're going to send her a copy of Davidia Michele's journal, Dear Future Husband. I want to get that done tonight. And so that's what we're going to do for you, Katrina, because Katrina said, yes, future husband, and put a heart face there. So absolutely. Since she's one of our team members, I will just, Davidia, we'll work it out after the show, but I want to get that copy I want to get a copy of that journal to her. And I'm also going to buy a couple of those because I got daughters. And so I want them to be able to read it as well and participate in it. And again, you can get a copy of Niecy's book, Behind Closed Doors, as well as her journal at IamNiecyJ.com or Amazon. Just real quick before I go back to Davidia, because I want to kind of understand the differences in you all's journal. Niecy, your journal is designed for what?
So my journal basically is for those who are scared to speak up, who's scared to talk about any of the adversities that they're enduring. So like for me, it took forever to talk about it. And for me, and like I said, for other women, even some men, it's easier for us to put it on paper. So that journal is designed for those. It's a 31-day encouragement journal. I'm encouraging people who are hurting to write down all of their issues and problems that they're going through, that they're hiding. from others. And write it down. It doesn't have to be every single day for 31 days. It can just be whatever they want. But in this journal, there's a promissory note. That promissory note basically is for those people to, you're promising yourself, because you're more apt to keep a promise to yourself versus someone else. So if you keep a promise to yourself to give this journal to someone that you fully trust, after you put all of your hurt and pain down on paper, you give it to them, allow them to read it. At that point, they're going to come back to you, and then they are going to have that conversation with you. Once they have that conversation, bam, that's your first step to healing, talking. So once you talk about it, you figure it out from there, whether you want to go to a counselor, your parents, a pastor, whoever, but at least you are now talking about it. There's scriptures and affirmations. So every single time that you write on your page, you are going to read a scripture. You have to understand the word that God is giving you before you write those words down on paper. And then, just move forward from there.
Okay, awesome. I believe that giving people because sometimes you guys have really inspired me. I may add a journal with my book too, and just journal the journal route. Because what your understanding is that in my capacity as a problem solver, the first thing that we obviously have to do is identify the problem, right?
Exactly.
But you can't just identify it and leave people there. You know what I mean? Like you can see the whole body of information, and then someone's like, well, I identify with her. But what you've done is gone a step further, is that you've given people an opportunity to improve and ultimately control their life. That's the DMAIC process: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. And see, Nisi, when you put this journal out, the last two steps, you're leaving with people. You're saying, look, I want to show you how to come from behind the closed doors, how to improve, and how to control your life so it doesn't continue to take
control you.
That was
right.
very, very wise in that. And so again, you can get a copy of the journal. And you can get a copy of the journal, as well as a copy of Nisi's book, I Am Nisi J, Behind Closed Doors. You just go to IamNisiJ.com. Greg is so fast. I'm telling you, this is how our staff is, Davidia. He's already purchased the book for Katrina. And
awesome.
All the men gonna sign it for Katrina.
Awesome.
Hopefully it'll come before our birthday trip, Greg, and we can all get together and sign it for her. So Katrina, who is, like I said, one of our staff members, she's the lady on our team, and she keeps us straight. We just wanted
you in line.
Wanted to bless you. So Davidia, same thing for you. You have a journal. And so kind of give us the schematics of what a person a lady who's talking to her future husband, I need to get a picture of what's happening in this journal.
Okay, let me say this about this journal and about this journey. Some people hear me talk about this journal and the journey of it, and they immediately think, oh, somebody out here chasing and begging for a husband and, in a hurry to get married. That's what it's not. Mm-hmm. Dear Future Husband is a movement of women who are being intentional about preparation for their husband before he arrives. And so within that journal, what you do is you take time to read the scriptures, the words of encouragement. There's prayer included in the journal. And the journal gives you 30 opportunities to share the content of your heart as it pertains to you as a woman, who you are today, the woman you desire to be in the future, and the wife that you desire to be for your future husband. In that space, you can share so much of who you are. You can share so much of what you're experiencing while you're in the wait. And you also can share what you are doing to prepare yourself for him, not preparation for a wedding or a bachelorette party, a bridal shower, an engagement, or it's not that. It is not those elements. If you are of a Christian faith, you believe that a woman, a wife, is a helpmate or helpmeet, whatever terminology you like to use. And so in that, for me personally, I embrace the fact that I am a helper.
Right.
And so as a helper to my future husband, I need to prepare myself and understand what it is that I can do to enhance who I am while I'm waiting for him to arrive. And that journal just takes you through that journey of preparation. And the beauty of the Dear Future Husband, why it is named Dear Future Husband, there's so much story behind this. Each page where you can write out starts with Dear Future Husband.
Uh-huh.
And what this is, it's a keepsake. It says it right on the cover, 30-day journey and keepsake. And so ladies, when you take that journey and you complete it, you wrap that baby up as a beautiful gift and you present it to the man who turns out to be your husband when he arrives during your engagement party, wedding day gift, and you allow him. Here's the key. You've done your part. You've completed the journal. When you gift it to him, back off and allow him to read this journal in his own time. Don't press him.
Right.
Don't rush him. Babe, did you read page such? No. Allow him to read it in his time. And that way he can absorb who you are, who you were before he even stepped foot into your life.
Man, that's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my guests, Nisi Jordan and Davidia Michele. These ladies are really, I can't keep up with them. They are just turning the world upside down with some remarkable content. You know, Davidia, I really think like the churches should get a stack of these things. And you know what I mean?
Many places do. You know, let me just say that in regards to that, I'm patient.
Yeah.
I'm patient. I know there's purpose,
right.
and I know what God told me to do. And so it will be there. But it's going to arrive there in such a way that it's going to knock the socks off people, because right now they just see, oh, this is something cute. They don't really see the power in it right in this moment, but it's coming.
Yeah, that's right. And we just want to help stir. Look, here's what I am, ladies and gentlemen. And Katrina, I got your notes right here. I'm writing the notes on one of my staff members, team members. She just finished her second book, Poet Katrina McCain. And I just want to fan those embers. You know what I'm saying? And let me just parenthetically insert this for y'all. Listen, okay? What we're doing right here is the Bible says iron sharpens iron. I don't ever want to see somebody out here trying to do good, trying to make an impact. And I just kind of, good to go. God bless you. Good luck with that. If I can't write the book, I can't even use it myself. But if I can fan them embers that you got going on, and that thing turns into a roaring fire, you know, Nisi, if we can help some marriages where people have had a whole bunch of junk happen to them behind closed doors, and I can just fan this just a little bit for this 1 hour that we got. And somebody says who may not even know them, because so many people listen in different places, that they get this in their hand and they're like, wow, you know, I see myself in this book. I you know what I mean? We can, that's called impacting lives, ladies and gentlemen. And so I'm blessed tonight to have Davidia Michele at davidamichele.com. And of course, Tahneisha Jordan at imnisij.com here in the studios. I'm going to ask y'all a fun question, okay? Because sometimes, you know, sometimes we get heavy in Impacting Life 24/7. But I want to ask y'all a fun question. If money, I'm going to ask you, Nisi, first. If money was no object, if money was not an issue, what would you do full time?
I've always said, if I ever got money, the first thing I want to do is I want to purchase a big apartment complex, a huge building that will shelter homeless people. That's the first thing that I want to do. I want to make sure that these homeless people have somewhere to go. I have a staff that would help them get a job. Just make them whole again. That is what I want to do. And then I want to help, you know, those teens and people that have endured the same issues that I have. the best way that I can. But my biggest thing is to help those homeless people.
Awesome. That's a you can, again, ladies and gentlemen, listen to her heart. Listen to Nisi's heart. She has a heart for people, and you can find her at imnisij.com. Just go. We always ask our guests connect with our. We ask our audience connect with our guests on social media. I find so many people who come on our show, and then I go and look, and they're friends with other people I've had on the show after they're on this show. This is called collaboration, man. So go to I Am Nisi J. Go on social media. If she's not in Facebook jail this week, go and send her a Facebook request.
Why you put my business out like that?
Look, you know why? Busy people get stuff done. And I got my own feelings about these platforms that throw people in some sort of cyber jail. That's a bunch of junk. But anyway, I'll get off my high horse on that. And Davidia, same question for you. If money was no object, you know what I mean? It was limitless. What would you do full time?
Man, you come with these questions and I got like a billion answers for them. So I'll try to keep it short. Self-care before self-care became popular. I am passionate about women and I'm passionate about men, specifically Black men. But I'll stay in the vein of women because it relates to my dear future husband. Before self-care became such a popular statement, my passion and my desire has always been to give married women an outlet, a space where they can come together, relax, relate, and release, and just get life off of them. A lot of times as married women, and though I'm not married now, I once was married and I will soon be married again. As married women, we put so much stuff in our backpack and strap it on our shoulders and we just go. And we just like myself, like right now, I take these slithers of time and they work for me, but I do realize that I need much more. And I think many married women don't realize how much more they need because we learn to just function in that way. So I would love to design a space, a getaway of sorts where women could just come together and exhale, not to be gossipy, but really exhale as wives. That allows women, that will allow wives, let me say that, wives to fully regroup. If it's for a day or 2 day type of thing, a weekend, it would allow a wife to regroup and be refreshed, to go back into the home and be what she needs to be for her husband first, and then for the family as a whole. Right. As wives, we pour, most wives, and I think all wives should pour effortlessly into their husbands. And so when you pour, you kind of get empty and you need some place away from the home, right, to rejuvenate, to refill yourselves. And some people will say, well, isn't that what my husband is supposed to do? Sometimes you just need to get away. And I would love to design a retreat space for women in that vein, something that could take off and just be locations all across the country and move around the world, where wives can just really rejuvenate and be able to be the pillar that they were intended to be in their home and in their marriage.
One day, Greg, I'm going to be able to say this. Greg, send Nisi a check take it out of our petty cash. Send her a check for $10.5 million, and
Amen.
Also cut off one for Davidia for $10.5 million, and let's just bless these ladies so they can get
Amen.
off the ground one day. Now,
Amen.
Now I know Greg has that in his back pocket, but I'm going to be able to tell him, Greg, take that from the account, brother.
Come through, Greg. Greg need to come through and just go ahead and sow a seed and let it be what it's gonna be, right. And let that retreat space and that shelter pour back into his life.
Katrina says, I would love Katrina, who is again upon our team. We thoroughly appreciate you, Katrina, praying for God's full restoration and health with you. She said, I would love to be a part of that space. And so and she said it best. Like I said, I love getting away. I love getting away. Like, I'll just go stay up in Norfolk for the weekend just because I like eating their hotel food and I ain't got to cook, right? Now, and what couples need to recognize is, and Dr. Dobson talked about this. There's y'all time, there's family time, right? There's hubby and wife time, and then y'all need to get away from each other. Because she said it best. She said, well, can't you get it there with your husband? Sometimes you just need to get away. Niecy, I mean, don't you need to sometimes just get away from Michael Jordan up there?
Absolutely. If I could go to the beach by myself and just sit there with nobody, oh my God. But see, I don't like to drive.
Yeah.
So I gotta take them with me.
Hey, look, be like this. Yo, MJ, just Uber me down to the beach and then you go back to the crib, brother.
Right, come back and get me.
Right.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning in to Impacting Life 24/7 with your host, CL King. And I have been in the studios. This has been so uplifting with Tahneisha Jordan, IamNiecyJ.com, and Davidia Michele, DavidaMichele.com. These both ladies have works of art that they have put out, poured themselves into these works. Niecy has a book and a journal called Behind Closed Doors, and we just blessed one of our team members with Davida's work, and it is Dear Future Husband. What a tremendous amount of opportunities. Here's what I told them, ladies and gentlemen. Here's what I told everybody on our team. This is what we want to be, what you guys are doing. We want to be a cathedral of resources. And
absolutely.
2 nights ago, we were talking to a lady, a dear lady who just lost her husband. He committed suicide. And but she's a resource now for people who have gone through that. A week ago, we had the Minus Brothers on here talking about education and diversity and music. And then a few days before that, we had I can't even remember their names. They were just amazing people. But my point is that every night on Impacting Life 24/7, there is a different resource for you. And so why do you hear me say their website so much? Because I want you to connect with them. I sometimes go to or hear things in other places, other content creators, and I'm like, okay, well, you're just making noise. But I want to go to the next step and connect with somebody that can help me along my journey. Davidia talks about journey. There are women out there, Davina, that I believe even tonight that have heard your story, understand what you live with every day, that you embrace, but it's still your reality, that can connect with you long after our lights are out. And you can help, because I seen in your write-up, you believe in mentoring women, you believe in being a voice, and I want y'all to connect with Davidia Michele. Just go find her right now. I command everyone to do what I say, because I'm the boss of this show.
The king.
Go to DavidaMichele.com. And then again with Niecy, I found out, Niecy, that there's over 50 million, I think I told you this, there's 50 million cases of sibling sexual abuse. Now we don't talk about that. But then how many others are hidden in the closet where kids didn't know that it was wrong, that they were being molested. And they don't know, they don't have an avenue or a vehicle or a way to get it out. And they're self-destructing. Well, they can look at Niecy J, and they can see that you're holding your head up high as a strong, married black woman. And Davidia Michele, who's anxiously waiting on the threshold for her knight in shining armor. These two strong black women are saying, you know what? If we can do it, so can you. And that's why I want y'all to connect with them. Greg, was that good, man? Because I want people to connect with folks.
Well, can I mention one thing before you go further?
Yes.
I do have a GoFundMe, and I meant to mention this to you earlier. I have a GoFundMe page that I have set up for some teenagers in Lorraine. It's under Lorraine High Stolen Innocence. So I am planning an event. It's supposed to be May 28th, but I'm pushing it up to April 23rd. It's for the teenagers in Lorraine who are going through molestation, rape, and things like that, and are unable to talk to those that they thought they could trust their teachers, their parents, or whoever. And so I want to give them a space where they feel comfortable enough to talk to me and others who have gone through, the same thing. So we're going to have a licensed therapist on hand. We're going to be, they're going to be talking to me and others who have gone through the same thing. So please go to my GoFundMe page. Again, it's under Lorraine High Stolen Innocence. Anything would help is to, again, throw this nice event for these children so they can have an outlet.
Nisi, what can you kind of, I wasn't able to hear it that clear. What is the GoFundMe page called?
Lorraine High Stolen Innocence. It's for the Lorraine High children.
Okay, so look that up, Greg, if you can. You can put that in the chat. Lorraine High Stolen Innocence. Did you ask me to come to that? Because, I thought I was supposed to be one of the speakers.
Yes, I did. I did ask you to be a speaker.
I just be putting myself on schedules, Davidia. I'm like, I know I'm supposed to be there. So
she asked me too. I was like, sure, I'll come and speak.
Right.
But
so
it's a beautiful thing.
Well, so and now I can't wait to see that come to fruition. That will be the first time I get back to that area. I've not been to Lorraine since my foster mother passed away, which was in 2013. So it is long overdue for me to get back and fellowship and try to help with this mission there. And so as you hear, ladies and gentlemen, the music tells me and my sponsors that's the show. And it went by so fast. I'm like, wait a minute, there's so much more to talk about. So what we do is I want you guys to understand that as you have new intervals in your life, you have new things that you want to roll out, you're more than welcome. Just reach out to me or Greg or our team, and we would love to have you back on to talk about your next initiatives. And we'll spread the word. We'll do our due diligence to make people aware of what these great ladies have going on. So what I always do, you get 45 seconds. Okay, that's it. DC 45, Davidia 45. I want you guys to take a moment and give a word of encouragement to our audience. Okay, Miss Davidia Michele, go.
Listen, everyone, I need you to be kind. Being kind costs you nothing. Sharing a smile costs you nothing. Understand that you have the ability to change and impact somebody's life with a simple hello, a simple how are you doing? And it costs you absolutely nothing. Before I leave Mr. CL King today, I want to remind you yet again, you can find me at davidamichele.com. I do have new Dear Future Husband apparel coming soon. We are going to believe it, speak it, wear it, and manifest it. I am Davidia Michele, CL. Thank you for allowing me on your show today.
Awesome. Great job. Nisi Jordan, last word. What you got?
Listen, just be positive. Just because you're going through something and because it's dark today does not mean it's going to remain dark forever. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and just know you have to put in the work to get to that light.
Yes, absolutely. You have to put in the work to get to that light, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. And Nisi, one of our team members, Katrina, is already, she's going to donate to that cause. Of course, we are too.
Thank you.
We want to support you. Again, go to davidamichele.com to get a copy of her journal. The name of the journal is Dear Future Husband. And of course, a copy of Nisi Jordan's book, Behind Closed Doors, as well as her journal. Just go to IamNisiJ.com. Ladies, it's been so fun. It's been so good. And we look forward to seeing you guys again. You guys can let yourself out the room. God bless you and have a great night.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
All right. Take care.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for another busy broadcast week here on Impacting Life 24/7. How wonderful was that? Those two ladies are really just an inspiration. Both from the same hometown city, and now Nisi lives in Greensboro, but they have put out, I'm just amazed at people who are doing this, especially during this time, man. We need to, with everything else that's in the news and everything that seems to be going awry, I'm thankful for people who are putting out content that is designed to impact others. It's all about impact, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it for us, Greg, Katrina, Danny, Mike. I seen all you guys pop in tonight. Thank you so much for making this happen. This is how it happens, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just I, CL King. We have a whole team that supports the mission of impacting life 24/7. So again, go to davidamichele.com. Let me spell that for you. DavidaMichele.com. Don't make the mistake I made and spell it wrong. DavidaMichele.com. Get a copy of her journal and connect with her. Again, Niecy J. I am Niecy J. How do you spell Niecy? It's NEICEEJ.com. So that's it, guys. Yeah, you're right, Black. Very, very, very wonderful ladies. We have some very high standards on Impacting Life 24/7. High. We pre-interview, and I knew these ladies. We pre-interview anyone that comes on this show because we want you to receive the best resource possible. And we take that very seriously. And our team is diligent about, we don't just give everybody the platform that's just wanting to hear themselves talk. But if you got a heartbeat for people, you got a heartbeat for impacting lives, this is the place you need to reside. Now, we also need you to know that this thing is growing exponentially. So we need your help. If you would like to become a sponsor or just donate, go to clkingspeaker.com. We have sponsors all across the country who are helping us in this mission. The constant upgrade of equipment, going out and doing events for free. We just have some overtures with a new organization where we're going to go and give some of our youth leadership away for free. And our sponsors help us do that. We've got 3 sponsorship levels. We'd love for you to become a part of this. Really simple. You won't even notice it. But when we take one from here, one from there, one from here, one from there, and we use our collective efforts, we leverage that, and we make true impacts on people's lives. It's not just talk. I remember when Mike and I first started, the show was a train wreck. And now we have doctors, philosophers, next will be heads of state that want to come on our show, and people who are legitimately making an impact. So again, clkingspeaker.com if you would like to become a sponsor. And we look forward to all of you guys connecting with our guest. Greg, am I missing anything? Got everybody on there? Good. I am Niecy J. DavidaMichele.com. I feel like a salesman, because I'm always, but that's the feel I want my guests to know, that when they come on this show, people gonna know about them. I go on some shows, man, and they say at the very end when nobody's listening, tell people how they get up with you. Man, you know how to get up with Niecy J and Davida Michele. You heard it 100 times tonight. So that's it for me. We're going back into the cave to work on the book, Who Ate My Brownie, coming out 7/24/22. I cannot wait to release that book into the atmosphere and go around this country, because I'm going to get on the road. I can't stay still. And I'm going to try to help as many people as I can, tens of thousands, who understand that sometimes it's just one singular choice. That's what the book is kind of about. It was one singular choice that set in motion the deliverance from me having a childhood of hell. That's the best way I can put it. So thank you again. That concludes Impacting Life 24/7. Again, if you'd like to become a sponsor of this show, all you got to do is go to clkingspeaker.com, scroll down a little bit. It'll be at the bottom. We love you. God bless you. We'll see you on Monday.